Okay. Heck yeah. All right. So, Vault got a record deal. Scarholm sent me a track, and it sounds fantastic. Like, huge improvement over the last couple of months, and that was just really cool to see. So we got people from the stream community as it exists doing really cool stuff. My dogs are very concerned with what I am doing and why it does not involve more treats and pets and attention. Uh, yeah, so that is what's happening. All right. So we are back in business, is the overall deal here. I have such a sad dog. I give you so All right. If you've got something that you've been working on and you want to get some mixed feedback, you can send it anytime to atonuvrecords@gmail.com. And I will be back on the stream on a daily basis. I'm just going to recap a few times. So we've got the stream, we have a Discord. You can email me and I'll get you on that. Everyone can upload stuff and talk to each other and get, like, even more feedback on the stuff that they're doing. I will be doing regular like sample recording, some violin stuff, and bringing other people on. It's gonna be cool. So, as everyone figures out that this is happening again, I'm sure you will all be back. And that is where we're at. Just checking this chat. Cool. So, format is basically the same. We'll be streaming regularly. I'll schedule the next stream, and you can email me at any time at atonuvrecords@gmail.com, and we will look at your track live on stream. All right. And I am simulcasting to Twitch for the first time, and I am figuring out all of that back end. Battle testing this as we go. So, if you're on Twitch and wonder what's going on, this is a regular live mixing feedback time. You can send a track to atonuvrecords@gmail.com, and I will load it up and take a kind of a mastering perspective view on your track, dial in what's happening, what needs to happen, what could happen. Maybe your snare could get, like a touch more 1.5K, or you're kicking your bass or fighting. All of that normal, regular mixing stuff. So, send stuff at any time. We are, winging it for the night. just got that internet back. It's been 2 months of just calling a telecom corporation for hours and hours every single day. But we're back. I couldn't be happier. So yeah, that's it. There's no content planned. No one has sent in a mix, and that is to be expected, as this has not existed as a thing for a little bit. But I just wanted to get back on that horse. So, if you've been wondering where this show went, it's back. And yeah, send me your tracks again. All right, so I am going to I'm going to hang out for like another 5 minutes. If you have a track, actually, what I want to do is I want to pay attention to my dog for like 5 minutes. I'm going to put up a little sign on the page, and if you've got a track tonight and you want to take a look at it, we'll take a look at it. And I gotta pay attention to this dog. So yeah, I'm gonna take 5. I'll be right back. All right, my dog really required some chicken tendies. Big Kyle energy from my dog. So I'll give the whole spiel again. This is a ton of open studio. I'm Scott Murphy. I'm a primarily a mastering engineer. I mix stuff when it is really, really up my alley. And this is a time that people can send tracks to me, and I will evaluate your mix and see what could get dialed in to make it even better. So you can send stuff to atonuvrecords at gmail.com absolutely any time of the day, and I'll work it into the stream. The stream happens every day. I'm going to find like a really solid time to do it. And yeah, anything that comes into my inbox during the day, I take a look at that night's stream. So if you're watching, you can just drop a message, and or even if you have a like audio engineering question, I'm happy to answer it. The that is the format that has existed for this show before I had to take a break because of a lack of internet. In addition to the mixed feedback, I'm going to be doing a little more with like some synthesis stuff and like some violin recording, and then making those sample packs and sample recordings available to the community so that people can make stuff and people can have a fun time. So that is new stuff, and yeah, I'm just kind of also new. This is getting rebroadcast to Twitch, and I am, figuring out how all of that is working. So this is like particularly, um, I'm throwing like a few fresh things in at the same time. So this is it. This is a ton of open studio. Really thrilled to be back. I do not currently have any tracks from folks, so there's kind of no content outside of me being very grateful to be back online. So if you have something, I would be happy to take a look at it. My email is atonuvrecords at gmail.com. I'm going to be kind of just my own personal spam bot for a little bit. Uh, if you're working on something and you don't want it played on stream, that's 100% understandable. Just let me know, and I will mute it on stream and listen to it in my studio and then give feedback from there. That's totally cool. So if you've got something super fresh, super new, and or it's a secret, and you don't want the internet to hear it, just put a little note on your email, and it won't get broadcast to the world. Now, that said, if you've got something and you want everyone to hear it, that's awesome. I play it on stream. So anything that you've got, you can send to my email, which is atonuvrecords at gmail.com. The let's see, I'll even put that in the text. Yep. So, this is a ton of open studio. I'm live on YouTube and Twitch for the first time, so figuring out the simulcasting. And uh, if you have a track that you would like a fresh set of ears on and some new perspective, you can send that at any time to that email listed above, atonuvrecords@gmail.com, and I will take a look at it. Uh, Usually, how this format works is people send me stuff throughout the day, and then I take a look at it on stream. But I haven't been here for a while. I had some internet outage issues. So I'm going to filibuster a little bit and just kind of be live on the internet ambiently for the next little bit. So if you happen to walk into the room and you're like, what is going on? I'm just taking a listen to your music and providing top-down mastering style feedback on your track. So if you've got something you're working on and you want to see what is, a new way of thinking about it, you can send it in at any time. Or if you have like a general audio engineering question that is just burning inside your head, you can send that in to the chat and I will probably see it. I feel. Another new thing to the format that I've briefly mentioned, I think, in a few videos, but, always mentioning stuff. I would like to incorporate some like micro mixing tutorial stuff. So if anybody has like a section of a song, I don't want to dive into doing like full mixes on stream. Uh, so if you've got like a little snippet or just like a drum bus or a chorus or something, you could send that in and we can kind of dive into some like really, really practical mixing stuff live on stream. And yeah, you can send that in at any point. All right. This is a ton of open studio. I'm just kind of like watching my stats and seeing when new people walk in. I was doing this stream every single day a few months ago, and then I ran into some internet stuff, so I'm getting it started up again. And how it works is people can send tracks to atonuvrecords@gmail.com. It's up there in big old letters, and I'll provide top-down mastering style feedback live on air, and we can kind of figure out, what's going on with your mixes, what's going on with your perspective, what could get fine-tuned on these tracks. So you can send stuff in at any time. Usually, when the stream is like fully up and running, there's like a few tracks that have come in throughout the day, and then I go through them on that night's stream. But like I said, I haven't been here for a while, so I am just kind of camping on stream and seeing if anything happens to come in. I'm just really excited to be back online, so I'm down to just kind of sit in front of a camera and tell it the same thing over and over again. So, if you've got a track, you can send it in and I'll take a look at it. All right. And I don't usually just sit and watch stats, but because I haven't done this in a while and the regulars aren't necessarily going to come in, I'm just seeing when new people come in, and I just saw a little spike on the stat bar. So this is a ton of open studio. This is a, once again, nightly show. It was a few months back, and now I'm right back at it. So if you've got something you've been working on and you would like a mastering style, top down mix feedback session live on stream, you can send it to my email at atonuvrecords@gmail.com. You can also feel free to ask a question in chat at any point. Happy to answer anything. And yeah, you can send that in. And like I said, I was doing this every day for a while. Then I ran into some internet trouble, and now I'm back. Usually, there is a backlog of tracks from the that people have sent me throughout the day, and then I'm going through them and giving that sweet, sweet mix feedback. But I haven't been here for a while, so I got nothing. So I am camping on stream. I got nothing better to do. I have been just itching to get back to this. So you can send tracks now or at any time. I'll be here nightly. And yeah, that's it. There's some new stuff coming to the stream for folks who have watched it in the past. There's going to be a little more like synthesizer stuff and and all of that. And I've got something from Mason. All right, so something just came in. I'm gonna figure out all the deals on that. So if you are just joining, basically we have been on hiatus for the last couple of months, dealing with some internet stuff. The it was a pain. And the deal with this stream is folks can send mixes in to get some fresh perspective on their tracks. And you can send those in at any time. And I will take a listen. And I've got something in my inbox, and I just have to figure it out. Cool. So I got a fresh mix from Mason, and I'm just figuring out if they want to play it off stream or on stream, which is an option for everybody. If you've got something that you're working on and it is like a really, really fresh demo, or it's the theoretically close to final mix on a really, really important album and you don't want it to get leaked, you can indicate that and I will listen to it off stream. Or if you just want to like get your stuff played for a bunch of people, then I am totally cool doing that too. So send stuff at any time. Seeing what's up. Okay, cool. Mason's down with it getting played on stream. I have to pay a second of attention to this dog again. He is upset again with me. So give me a couple of minutes, and we'll get right back to listening to some tunes. All right. My dog is convinced that I absolutely never feed him. Okay, so my dog approaches me again. I don't know what's up with him today. So I'm about to take a listen to Mason's track and see what's going on with it. The format for this, if you are just joining or totally new or it's been a while since you've been here, you can send stuff to atonuvrecords@gmail.com absolutely any time of the day. I listen to them and provide some feedback on stream. So without further procrastination, I'm going to load up Mason's track. Okay, well, let's take a listen.
In the snow, there's a light fading to evening at 4 in the night, searching for something I lost for a time, wandering, pondering, lost in your eyes. Losing connection and losing our sight. Just keep on my only light. And the hours of daylight stretch into dreams, lasting forever it seems. We keep moving north in a straight line to home, moving onward, just hoping you're close. So please let me into your heart's inner rooms. I'll set up a fireplace suited for two. Just don't look away for too long from the light. When I know it's not real, you vanish from sight. In the hours till daylight, I'll come to the truth. In a whole separate world from you. We keep moving north in a straight line to home. Moving onward, just hoping we're close. So please let me into your heart's inner rooms. The fire is flickering, but still there's no you. I don't look away for too long from the light, 'cause your image just vanished like ghosts in the night. Looking for signals that don't mean a thing. Searching for reasons to stay in a dream.
Cool. So, I had heard an earlier mix of that, and so there's a little bit of bias going on, but this is so much better than the previous mix. So, it is definitely significantly cleaned up from 1 to 2K. That was the previous issue, and now it is nice and pleasant. So basically, you already took my advice, and I would say that it worked. Now, this is an unmastered file, and I know Mason has been practicing mastering his own stuff. It's a good way to practice. I would be very, very careful about what you do with this. Basically, you need to preserve the mix throughout the compression and limiting process. So I would not use a color compressor. Go with something incredibly boring like an SSL, and just nothing. Try not to add color. We're not going for that. And barely squeeze it. 1 dB of gain reduction. And what you want to do is you want to just take this mix is like it is on the edge in that upper mid range. It is good, but if you cross that threshold and get it any pokier in your final bit of processing, then you're going to run into some trouble. So transparency is what we would be after, taking this from a mix to a master. We just want to spit out like basically the same thing. We don't want to try to do any fancy stuff. It's already nice and flat. It's got a little bit of a bottom to it, from 100 to 200. And that's nice on like kind of like singer-songwriting stuff, to have like some nice presence there. Like if you're using like the new James Blake stuff. As far as master EQ, okay, so Mason just asked, Any suggestions for Master EQ? There's a delay on this whole thing, so I have to kind of like read chat. I would really not do much on that EQ. Like, there is a little bit of room to bring stuff out above 8K, but I'm talking like super gentle, 1 dB. And like I was just saying, it has a very healthy like 100 to 200 happening. If it was on my desk, I might just like tame it a little bit. Like, that would be my instinct, but it also wouldn't necessarily pay off. So I would leave the EQ flat. I wouldn't really touch it. I would maybe, if you had something like the Kush Clariphonic or Slate's Fresh Air is new and it's free, like dial in like 1 notch of excitement on the high end. Like literally like a notch, like make it say 1. Like just the teeniest, tiniest bit brighter, but only in the air band. Nothing mid-rangey at all, because we're just like I was saying, we are right on the absolute edge, which is a very good place to be. Like it's where we want our upper mids to be. We want it to be like exactly precisely right. If our upper mids are too hot, it is of course harsh and no good. But if it is too low, it's arguably worse. It's like then the mix feels like it has no energy and it doesn't like leap out and grab us. So as of now, your mix is really, really nice at 1 to 2K. So any decision you make needs to not touch that region. So any EQ is maybe some air excitement above 8K, and maybe and then this would be better solved in the mix rather than the master, but maybe see what all is happening from 100 to 200 and see if there's like a little bit of flub in there that could get shaved away. Just band pass your track, take a listen to what's happening in there, and see if it doesn't sound bad as of right now, but I would be curious as to if there is unnecessary information from 100 to 200. That's what I would take a look at EQ wise. Other than that, this track needs to be preserved and just made louder. That would be my plan of attack with it for mastering. Like very, very, very little changes. Like and honestly, like rule of thumb, never think of mastering as something that is improving or changing or like being we want mastering to preserve and focus a mix, make it so that it doesn't have other interpretations. We want that interpretation and its message to be cemented during the mix. So this track is a perfect example of a mix that needs to just be preserved. That would be my whole spiel on that. So, great track, Mason. Really like hearing the progress. And, I mean, and like everyone else knows, like before I got on stream, Mason was having me take a look at this track, and he like spat out a much better mix in like 15 minutes. So that's really awesome. You made good decisions really quickly. So that is exactly where we want our mixing to be. Good decisions fast. So awesome work. If you are just hopping onto the stream, this is a Ton of Open Studio. You can send tracks to atonuvrecords@gmail.com. It's that email up there. I was doing this stream nightly a few months back, and I was having a blast, and then I ran into some really, really big, inconvenient internet hiccups that I cannot express my displeasure with enough. So I am back. I've got this internet humming, and I will be doing this live mix feedback on a nightly basis from here on out. I might not do it on Christmas, maybe. So, if you want some feedback, you can send that track to atonuvrecords@gmail.com, and I will take a listen. And yeah, normally I don't just hang out on stream and tell people to send tracks over and over and over again, but I haven't been here for a couple of months, and I mean, honestly, I'm having a really, really good time just engaging with, a few people at a time. And I'm happy to be back, and I'm going to camp on this stream for the next little bit and see if anything comes in, see if any new people wander into the room. And yeah, feel free to send me an email absolutely anytime. I am going to be here for a little bit. I'm also simulcasting on Twitch for the first time. I was doing this on YouTube before, and I really like Twitch's format. I was kind of watching other people stream for a little bit, and yeah, I'm figuring that out. So, hello to the new Twitch people, and yeah, I will be here for a little bit. I don't normally just sit here watching stats because that is lame and it has nothing to do with audio engineering. But for the sake of today, when I see a new person kind of walk into the room, I will just be delivering the spiel. So we'll all just kind of hang out here for a second. All right, so a new person might have just walked in, wondered what's going on. This is a Ton of Open Studio. You can send your latest mix and get some live top-down style feedback on it. It can be something that you are kicking around, maybe thinking about releasing, or you've released it and you're just kind of curious about it. Or it could be super early demos. It's always cool to get a mastering engineer to put their ear on something, even while you're just still tracking, and then you're going to just start making better decisions and quicker decisions as the process goes. So, yeah, if you've got something that is rough or a demo or new or secret, you can just make a note of it in your email, and I'll mute it so that the whole world doesn't hear it, and I'll give detailed feedback without showing everyone what you've been doing. So you can send that stuff to atonuvrecords@gmail.com. You can also feel free to ask questions in chat, and so on and so forth. We have in the next couple of days, some new stuff is going to get added to the format. I'm going to be recording some synth samples and violin samples so that people on the Patreon can grab cool sounds for their stuff. And I'm talking to some of my engineer friends about coming on to chat, coming onto the stream and doing some kind of deep dive podcast style audio engineering talks. So that'll be coming. And yeah, just new stuff on the way. in a normal night on the stream, I would be taking a look at tracks that have come in during the day, and then I evaluate them live on stream. And then, if something comes in during that time, I absolutely take a look at it. And then I generally stop the stream after that. So it's not just a bunch of dead air and me just, asking people to send tracks. That's usually not what we're doing. But I haven't been live in quite a while. So I'm just going to camp and wait and see if stuff comes in so that we get some, some new tracks, maybe some new people. I am more than aware that this isn't riveting content, but I'm just really happy to be here again. So if you've got something, you can send it in to atonuvrecords@gmail.com. I will be here for a while. I am going to grab some water. All right, let me see if I have that plug-in. 1 second. All right. Here, Mason, I don't have the Waves SSL, but I've got a UAD SSL, so I'm just gonna fire that up on your track and kind of show what I would be looking for with a compressor here. Okay.
In a straight line to home, moving onward, just hoping you're close.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to the to like a loud bit of like sustained loudness, so like right here in the middle. And I'm going to set the threshold. And I mean, honestly, on an SSL, more times than not, if you have the auto release option, it's probably going to be good. And then, like a medium attack and the lowest possible ratio is what you're going to be looking for. So let's take a look.
Into your heart's I'll set up a fireplace suited for two. Just don't look away for too long from the light. When I know it's not real, you vanish from sight. In the hours till daylight, I'll come to the truth. In a whole separate world, they suited for two. Just don't look away for too long from the light. When I know it's not real, you vanish from sight. In the hours till daylight, I'll come to the truth. In a whole separate into your heart for two. Just don't look away for too long from the light.
Okay, so I'm just setting the threshold so that we barely touch it. I am not looking to be like destructive or overly changey on this track. And yeah, just saw gain reduction meter is just a little light. So before 3 dB, can't see it. Okay, here's what it is. If you see that, so if on your compressor it only starts engaging, you only see a light at 3 dB of gain reduction, that means that if you're seeing the light, you've gone too far. We're talking about setting like 1 to 2 dB of gain reduction at the most. We just want it to catch like a little bit at its very, 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 very like loudest point. We're not trying to be, we're not trying to go crazy here on compression. So I'm like, I am just not touching this guy. And then the next thing is just crank up the makeup gain to get volume on this thing. So, rule of thumb is I want to get up to like minus 12 RMS at this point, and then let the limiter do the rest. I need to... Right. Pull up.
Vanish from sight. In the hours till daylight, I'll come to the truth. In a whole separate world from you. We keep moving north in a straight line to home.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to look for. Barely any compression, and and then mostly we just want to bring up volume with that. It's a pleasant way to gain stage the final. Okay, so if you are just joining, this is a ton of Open Studio. You can send in a mix, fresh mix, a demo, a like right in the middle, work in progress, and I will take a listen, give some top-down perspective on it, and see what we can do for your mix. Now, normally the format is people send stuff throughout the day, and then and then I get to it on that night's stream. But I have not streamed in quite a while. So tonight, and maybe for the next couple of nights while we get this thing back going, I am going to camp on stream and take any mix that comes my way. So drop those mixes into my email, and we'll get you going. Okay. And you can always ask a question in the chat, like Mason just asked. Have I used Isotope Stereoizer before, and is it worth using on the master? I've totally used it. I don't. I generally just don't put stereo plugins on the mastering chain. At this point, it's like I want to get the most width and depth possible in the mixing stage, which like your mix is already in a really nice place. You've got like a nice stereo delay, stereo reverb happening, and it sounds pretty wide. How I use the Isotope Stereoizer at this point is I use it to make it less stereo. Because it's got like a nice, like easy to use multiband. And if I have something and for whatever reason there's just tons of stereo information below 100 hertz, I just suck that down to mono. And that is going to do more for your stereo width than like adding width up top. Just take width away from the from your sub region, because that's just going to cause like a bunch of phasing issues and make your mix bad. So yeah, I'll use a Stereoizer plugin every now and then to strip stereo information away from low end, and sometimes the low mids if it's messy there. I find that actually clears up the stereo image nicer and is less destructive. And then that said, that's only when it's not a possibility to go back into the mix and achieve stereo width there. These are last-ditch efforts to like save a mix, like using a stereoizer. So on this particular mix, I would say that, like, don't worry about it. You could play with it if you want to see what it does, but be incredibly light-handed with it, like a notch here or there. If you're using a stereoizer, if you're using a stereoizer, and you can hear it, you've probably done too much. Like at that point, you're creating more problems than you're gaining sonic ground. Okay, settings on that SSL that I was using. It's gonna vary, but setting the threshold so that it's just barely touching the compression. That's gonna vary from plugin to plugin. Makeup gain, I was cranking it, and attack, I had 1, and then release was set to auto, and the ratio was set to 2-to-1, which is the lowest that this plugin offers. So, I mean, long story short, threshold set so that it's not really doing anything. Only at the very, very loudest moments does it squeeze at all. Makeup gain set to just deliver volume. Medium-ish attack and auto release, usually good on the SSL, and then the lowest possible ratio. All right, I need to grab a laptop charger. I will be back. Okay, so this is a ton of open studio. You could send in a track for some live top-down style feedback, see what's going on in your mix. Maybe there's something going on in your room and we can address that. You could send tracks to atonuvrecords@gmail.com. I'll be streaming nightly, and usually people send in tracks throughout the day, and then I take a listen to them on stream, and then some stuff might trickle in while I'm listening. But I haven't been here for a while, so I am camping and delivering this spiel and seeing what comes in. That's probably what's going to happen for the next few nights while people start to realize that the stream is happening again. That's on me. My internet was down for a while, and I wasn't doing it, despite really, really wanting to, because I was having a great time. So, I'm going to be here for the next while, and like normally I don't like watch view counts and stuff, because that's super lame, but when I see someone new enter in the room, I'm going to tell them that, this is the way that we do things. So, I'm going to be kind of like on broken robot mode for the next little bit. And yeah, that's what we're doing tonight and probably for the weekend. Cool. So, I'm also that's playing. I'm also on Twitch for the first time. So I'm getting that all figured out. I don't know how to mute Twitch. So I don't know. I have a noise gate, so I'm not sure if you can hear the really amazing loop back that's happening. All right. Let's see. All right. So, this is a ton of open studio. If you want some mix feedback from me, Scott Murphy, a mastering engineer, you can send stuff to atonuvrecords@gmail.com and I'll see what's happening. Now, this is a regular broadcast. It'll be every night. That's what was happening during the summer. And then I ran into some internet issues, but it's all sorted out. It's all, nice and ooey gooey bandwidth. So it's right back to the nightly stream. So from here on out, you can send stuff in, and I will take a look at it on the nightly show. Now, as of today, this is my first time back in quite a while, so I am not expecting everyone who had been coming to these to, to get the notifications right away. So tonight's stream is mostly me explaining the stream. So It's normally jam-packed with content, but tonight we're stream camping. So I'm also watching the view count, which I don't normally do, but it looks like someone new is in the room. So here is the spiel. This is a ton of open studio. You could send in tracks for live mix feedback. If you've got something that is almost done, and you're just wondering what it needs, or if you've got like an early demo and you want some ideas on where it could go, that's cool too. If you've got something that you are feeling like it's a little too rough for public consumption, or it is a big secret and you don't want it leaked, then just let me know and I'll mute it on stream so that the world doesn't hear it. Or if you want a bunch of people to hear your new music, then that is super cool too. Just let me know. Go ahead and send stuff to atonuvrecords@gmail.com if you want to have this happen. Now, normally, I've got stuff in my inbox that's come in throughout the day, and then this stream is a non-stop content machine of pure audio engineering and, a real good time. But we're just getting it started back up again. This is a ton of Open Studios 2.0. So tonight, I'm just hanging out on stream, seeing what happens. If you've got something, you can send it in. If you've got a question, feel free to ask in chat. For people who have seen the thing before, as far as things to look forward to, there's going to be a little more with like synthesizers and stuff. I'm going to hook those up and make some sample packs for everybody. There is still the Patreon if you want to kick in $1 to, turn on the lights or whatever. There's also the ability to get like some one-on-one sessions. And let's see. I am reaching out to a bunch of my other like engineering friends to hop onto the stream and do like video chats where we talk about audio engineering stuff. So that's going to get worked into the nightly streams. In addition, I think it would be cool that with the community that is watching, if you have something that you want to send me some stems for, and we're talking about just like sections of songs, like choruses and verses and stuff. If you want to send those in, I can do some some live tutorial type stuff. It would be more fun to use your stuff than public domain things. And yeah, keep them to like the minute mark. I don't want to get in diving into an entire mix live on stream. I'm not sure if it would even be good content, but in the future, I would be down if a client wants to maybe get a few bucks knocked off of their tab to have something be mixed on stream, and they want to try that out. I think I would be game. Might be fun and exciting. Yeah, so there's going to be some new stuff, and the same good old mix feedback is still the core of a ton of Open Studios. So if you're just joining, you can send in a track to atonuvrecords@gmail.com at absolutely any time, and we'll take a look at it live on this stream. So normally, not how this show runs. Normally, it's tight. We've got tracks ready to go. But we haven't been here for a little bit, so it is a good old stream camp. Thanks for hanging out, if you're just hanging out. I'm going to kind of wait for a minute and see if anyone... I'm also stat watching, which is normally... not what I do. Why would we want to do that? But whenever someone new comes in, I give the whole same spiel, because maybe we're going to get another track. That would be cool. We're also on Twitch for the first time, which, as far as I can tell, no one has wandered onto there yet. But that is a new thing. If you have a streaming service of preference, this is available on Twitch as well. All right. It looks like someone just walked into the YouTube, as far as I can tell. Normally, I'm not watching stats, but this isn't a normal a ton of open studio. How it works is people could send in mixes and get some live mastering style perspective on their track. And yeah, you can send those to atonuvrecords at gmail.com. Normally, how the show works is people have sent stuff in throughout the day. I take a look at it. Everything is nice and tight and concise, and we go through like a few tracks or like 5 or 6, and it's packed with ooey gooey audio engineering knowledge and goodness. But I haven't been streaming for the last little bit due to some catastrophic internet failure, but everything is fixed and back online. So for tonight and the next few nights, just so we get back into the natural rhythm of things, I'm going to be camping on stream and just kind of generally existing on the internet to let folks know that everything is back and running. So if you've got something that you want a look taken at, you can just send it on in. If it is super fresh and super rough and you don't want the whole world to hear it, then just let me know in the email and I will play it muted on the stream, not muted on my monitors. And it'll just be for my ears, and you don't have to worry about a leak or a bunch of strangers hearing your stuff. So just let me know. All right, so here we are doing the stream. So I'm streaming on Twitch for the first time, and I'm getting used to that. So you're also watching me do my own private tech support. So let's just see what's going on. Now, if you're wondering, the normal way that this works is people have send stuff in throughout the day, and then I take a look at those tracks in a nice concise session. And then, you can watch a replay and you're like, oh, yeah, it's going to be just wall to wall audio knowledge. But I haven't been streaming for the last little bit. So for tonight and the next few nights, I'm just going to be kind of like hanging out on the stream, getting the kinks worked out, getting used to talking to a camera again, and just letting people know that everything is back online and we are back to a consistent stream. So, normally, more jam-packed, more content. But for tonight and the next few nights, there's a fair amount of hanging out. There is also a degree of stat watching that isn't normally the case, but I'm doing it tonight, seeing if someone walks into one of these internet mix rooms, and I will let you know what is going on as you arrive. This is basically, this is all live. I really love when these have like real replay value. Folks can watch and watch an old. You can watch some of these old clips, and you're like, wow, that is solid audio stuff, and I like that. This stream, the next few streams, not gonna be like that. I know it. You know it. Not evergreen content, as we would be concerned about in the marketing end of things. But this isn't about marketing. This is about a love for high quality audio information. So, okay, we've got a new person rolling in to the YouTube. This is a ton of Open Studio. If you want some mastering style, top-down mix feedback, you can send tracks to atonuvrecords@gmail.com. I was doing this stream nightly a few months back. Absolutely loved it. Ran into an internet snag. But now we are back online, and I'll be here nightly. So you can go ahead, you can send something in, and I'll load it up, play it back, and give a listen. And we just got a track from Mason. We've been kind of bouncing back and forth on a track. We dialed in some upper mid-range stuff, and Mason just took a crack at mastering it. So let's take a listen and let's see how it's going. Okay.
Fading to evening at 4 in the night, searching for something I lost for a time. losing connection and losing our sight. Just you are my only light, and the hours of daylight stretch right into dreams, lasting forever it seems. We keep moving north in a straight line to home, moving onward, just hoping you're close. So please let me into your heart's inner rooms. I'll set up a fireplace suited for two. Just don't look away for too long from the light. When I know it's not real, you vanish from sight. In the hours till daylight, I'll come to the truth, in a whole separate world from you. We keep moving north in a straight line to home, moving onward, just hoping we're close. So please let me into your heart's inner rooms. The fire is flickering, but still there's no you. I don't look away for too long from the light, 'cause your image just vanished like ghosts in the night. Looking for signals that don't mean a thing, searching for reasons to stay in a dream.
Okay. That is much better than where it was. So, great. All right. So, what I am I don't feel like the synth is too far back. That's going to be that is definitely not something that I'm concerned about. Like it is the synth within the context of this piece, I kind of don't want it to be too I wouldn't want it to be too far forward. We want this to be like vocal and guitar driven with like a drapering of modernness would be like kind of how I would feel about it. And then like boosting that synth up in the presence range just leads to like more problems than it's worth. Like on a global mix scale, because like right now 1K on up is quite nice. What I would maybe think about changing is 500 to 1K is like a little bit hot for pop. It is feeling good for like up close personal folk kind of a vibe, But if we want this to be a pop track, it depends on what we're going for. Okay, like this is where we're at on this iteration. Like if this is a pop track, we gotta flatten out that that like 500 to 1K region. It's hot up in there. If this is feeling more like a intimate folk track to you, then it's kind of cool as is. Now, the other thing too to keep in mind is I don't remember if this is intended to be part of a album or an EP. Then we shouldn't even be worrying about mastering at this point because you're going to want to master them as one. So this might be a little bit of a cart before the horse situation. So I feel like it is a nice, pleasant listen, and it sounds way better than it did an hour ago. So that is awesome. The thing to consider would be if we're going for like a pure pop template, then it's got to get tamed in that 500 to 1K. It's hot there. So that said, this is primarily vocal and guitar, and a lot of folkier, intimate stuff is hot in that region. So it's going to depend on it's going to depend on what your intention is for this to be like genre-wise. Now, you asked a question in the chat. Should I have gain matched the EQ after reducing 2 to 3K? Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, if you do, it depends on how dramatic your move was. Like if you sucked out, like if you did like a 10 dB cut and the track is it if you did a huge dramatic cut, it's always good to level match what you did, so that you're not getting a false picture of what's happened. Let's see. All right. So, okay, and I'm going to read the chat out loud because we're also on Twitch and this is a YouTube comment, and also there's a delay, so it gets confusing. So, Mason says, I think I'm shooting for folk, but something different than guitar and vocal. I like the synthy stuff because it sounds a bit like fire. Yes. I don't like the guitar as much as the synth. So let's address that in like a few different ways. So you want it to be more than just guitar and vocal. Absolutely. And I would say that you've accomplished like something that is greater than that. We have some very, very, we've got some low end, we've got some bass, like a lot of, like, there's definitely, like, there's singer-songwriter stuff that I see all the time, and there's literally nothing below, like, 150. And, this track, it's got some, it has some booty. You've injected low end, and we've got some stuff at, like, 60. This is awesome. This definitely sets it apart from like pure singer-songwriter. And then the synth line itself is, my argument would be that it speaks for itself and it is incredibly present in the mix. And it is, it's got like this psychedelic vocal sampling thing happening and it's very cool. I would caution against, because this would go back to the mix from like an hour ago, where that synth is super, super hot from 1 to 3K, and it's pushing the whole thing into harshness. Which, first off, like from a mix perspective, that is what I'm going to be like very, very worried about going into, is we have pushed kind of the mix's breaking point on that upper mid range. So bringing those synths any further forward is just going to get us into an arms race again of pushing sounds up from 1 to 3K. And it might be a monitoring thing, but I'm like I'm getting a lot of synths in this current iteration. So now here's where we get into like a more interesting artistic thing. Like you said, I don't like the guitar as much as the synth. So I'm wondering if you mean the sound of the guitar in the mix isn't as important to you, or if the guitar just has ceased to be existentially interesting. These are both things. So if the guitar isn't feeling like it belongs in the mix, then let's address it. I would say that guitar is probably like heavy at 500, and maybe that needs to get tucked back, and maybe that'll give us like a nicer, like it would smiley face the guitar a little bit, and maybe that's what we want. We want the guitar to be like felt but not heard. Maybe that's an option mix wise. Now, as far as just like not as like falling out of love with guitar and standard instruments is incredibly normal, like if you've just been playing music for a really long time. So a creative thing would be to maybe take a look at that guitar and see if there is a new way of thinking about it within a musical context. So go crazy with some effects. Like usually that's not like a good answer, okay? Yeah, like I wouldn't want to just like that's never the first thing I'm going to say to anybody. It's only because we've got like gone a few rounds back and forth on this. So if you're not feeling inspired by the guitar, then dig in to your DAW and get weird with it for like give yourself like a half hour of just trying, like grab an effect that you've never used before, make a chain that's totally and completely new, shoot the guitar through it, and put it on an aux send so that you can mix it in with the dry signal and see if creating a whole new texture out of the guitar makes you feel like it's good again. And sometimes that is the answer. I know that like my advice is usually super duper meat and potatoesy. Like that's usually where I'm at. I'm usually like, well, it probably needs a little more 3K or less right here, or like let's try this compressor and like slightly change the color. And that's where most of my decisions are, because that's where I think most decisions should be, like within this very, very technical realm. But when I hit a wall on a mix that is, I no longer feel inspired by an instrument, I absolutely do this. I reach for something new. I reach for something colorful. I reach for something fun, and I mix that in to the track. And that's end stage stuff. Never ever is that my first go-to instinct of like let's put another granular delay on it. Like never at the beginning, but like after we've dug in and it's like it needs something to feel good again. Start reaching for some wacky effects. So that is, yeah, that's my advice on that. So see if you need to feel better about the guitar. See if it needs to have some fun injected into it. Yeah, try something new on it. All right, giving my voice a rest for a minute. Okay. Mason just asked if I've tried the pink noise trick, which is where you play pink noise over a track and then you use it to balance the track by bringing in instruments until they're like barely heard by the pink noise, etc., etc., etc. I have seen people do it. I have never personally done it. I have opinions about it. I don't love tricks. Okay, like I guess my general opinion is I don't like tricks, and that feels like a trick. That feels like a hack, like a shortcut, and I just like on a like hero's journey level. I'm like I don't like those. It also so as far as results that you get from it, I've never seen it done and been like, yeah, that's that balance that I was looking for. I also don't like, I mean, I that's not how I entirely approach balance in the first place, and I don't love the results that I've seen from the pink noise thing. It's also on a practical level. So to do it, it relies on like a degree of just like blasting your ears with pink noise, which is inherently ear fatiguing. And uh, the time that you're spending like living in a jet engine, balancing drums against a jet engine, and then you have to do the mix afterwards. It just feels like you're killing your ears and your time to like set everything up, do this trick to achieve a balance, and it would be so much more useful to just set up like a really really nice mix room where you can trust result, like just get to know your system and learn to trust your monitors and know that like this room produces results that translate elsewhere. That is a way better way to spend your time than like a jet engine trick. I don't want to be like too grumpy about it, but it's definitely not a thing that I love. I try to keep it all posy vibes on the stream. So I mean, good question though, because I know that like is a thing that exists and people do it. All right, so I'm stat watching for the next couple of nights. I normally don't, and I just saw that a new person walked into the Twitch room. So hello, new person. This is a ton of open studio. You can send tracks to me at absolutely any time at that email address, atonuvrecords@gmail.com. And I provide top-down mixing, advice, perspectives, mindset. We go and we deep dive on your tracks. So if you've got something, feel free to send it in. If it is a demo or new stuff, or it's a secret because you're trying to get signed to a hip new label, you can just note that in the email and I will listen to it off stream so that the whole world doesn't hear it. and then we dive into feedback. So that is what's up. I was doing this for a while and ran into some internet issues, so we're back on it. Normally the stream is tight and full of content, but for tonight and the next few nights we're going to be camping, and a Twitch person left the room, so we'll just go ahead and wait for a bit. All right, so new person just walked into YouTube. I am not normally watching view counts, but this is not a normal edition of the stream. I am back at it for the first time in a while, so I'm just kind of catching people as they come in. If you have a track that you would like some top-down mastering style mix feedback on, you can send it in to atonuvrecords@gmail.com, and I will load it up, take a listen, and see what we've got. If you are shy about people listening to your music, or you've got a final mix that you are trying to get signed, and you don't want it played on stream, I can absolutely mute it for the stream and listen to it just in my studio and go from there. Just make a note of it in the email, and I will accommodate. So normally the way that the stream works is people send stuff throughout the day, and I load it up, and then we just go through those tracks, and then it's like a nice tight bit of audio content where it's nothing but solid feedback, and people can like rewatch the stream and know that it is rock solid. But tonight, since it's my first time back in a while and I gotta get the regulars back on this thing, I'm just stream camping. So it is not tight, it is not concise, it's me getting used to talking to a camera again. If you've got something, feel free to send it in or ask a question in chat. I'm on Twitch for the first time tonight, so I'm also figuring that out and saying that I'm figuring that out a few times a minute. So feel free to send stuff in. Yeah, I got so for the last couple of months, I had really spotty bandwidth, and I didn't have reliable upload speed to stream, so I was kind of stuck just like watching stuff on my phone, and I got really into like just watching other people stream on Twitch, so I'm giving that a try for the first time. I just like the layout, and the community is cool. So we're doubles. We're doing YouTube and Twitch at the same time for the moment. Other new developments. I set up a Discord. So if you want an invite to that, just send me an email, and that'll be a spot where we can like post multi-tracks and mixes, and get a little community going that can provide feedback like throughout the day, and just have a private forum. All right, now I am stat watching, which I normally don't do, and I just saw a couple of people come into the room. If you have a mix that you would like some top-down feedback on, just send it to my email, atonuvrecords@gmail.com. I'm Scott Murphy, a mastering engineer and a mixing engineer when the album is like right up my alley. I like indie rock and garage rock and stuff. So I master absolutely everything because I love all music. So if you want some perspective and some guidance on your technique, or maybe there's some issues in your room, you can just send that track on in, and we'll load it up, listen to it on stream, and see what's going on. If you are shy or on the verge of a record deal and don't want your stuff leaked, you can just make a note of it in the email, and I will play it muted on stream, but quite loud in my room, and we'll move from there. And normally how this works is tracks are sent throughout the day, and then I line them up in my DAW. We go through them. Some tracks come in while I'm listening to them, and then the stream's over. So yeah, tonight I'm just camping on stream, and someone's wondering what all I've worked on. I'll list a bunch of people in the chat. All right. So yeah, I just answering a question. I've done a bunch of mix and mastering, like a lot of mastering. I would have to go through a hard drive. There's more info at www.atonuv.com. Yeah, there's a little bit of everything in there, like a bunch of punk, some there's a great soul EP by Isis DeMille that I really love. Oh, I did it a few years ago. It's called Civil Love. It is awesome. River Spirit is a really cool Detroit trio that does kind of like this math rock and soul combo, and they are really fun to work with. And Somewhere Like the Season is really like a dream pop thing. Magoo, I'm finishing that record, and that's gonna be like really, that's gonna be big deal. So that's like a Omaha 5-piece, like Midwestern, like I would say that it's like the closest thing that I would compare it to is Cursive. So yeah, if you're in the next few months, there's going to be a really, really sweet record out from Magoo. So watch out for that. Somewhere Like the Season has a full length that's like a giant project that has taken up the last 3 years of life. Really, really intricate, kind of like Bjork style dream pop. I mastered a couple of EPs that are old, but then the album, that's a full on production deep dive, and that comes out later in the year, delayed due to pandemic stuff. So that'll be really sweet when it comes out. So if you are just joining and wondering what is up, you can send tracks for some mastering style feedback, and yeah, send those in at absolutely any time. Okay, so normally the way that this format works is people are sending in tracks throughout the day. I line them all up. We go like track, 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 feedback, 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 and then move on from there. And I haven't been doing this for a little bit. Ran into an internet snag. It's now going to be a regular thing again. So for tonight and probably the next couple of nights, I'm just going to kind of stream camp so that people know that it's happening again. So this stream and the next couple aren't going to have that like nice tight replay value from the past, but we're just hanging out. I'm having a great time. I mean, honestly, I'm having a great time because I really, really loved doing this a few months back, and it was really cool to like see the same people every night, and it was super fun. So I'm really thrilled to be back. So I'm kind of like just absolutely chilling at this point. So if you've got something you would like me to take a look at, feel free to send it in at any time. And, until then, I'm just kind of sitting here. So, I'm glad to be back. I'm like stat watching, which I normally don't do on stream, but when I see a new person like walk in to a room, I just tell them what's up in case they're totally new and wondering what the heck is going on. So feel free to ask any sort of questions in the chat at any time. That's cool. Or send stuff in. All right. RTH just asked in the chat. I read these out loud because there's a delay, and it's also weird because sometimes chat disappears. So, how long have you been mixing and mastering? Also, do you only master or also help with mixes? So I have been audio engineering for like in some form or another, like 15 years. It all started like being in indie rock bands, with no budget. So you have to learn how to record yourself and run your own sound. And that all stemmed from like playing violin, and I got like really into fiddle and electric violin. So it's just like lots and lots of rock bands, and I just I was the person who was willing to figure out how to run a board. That like quickly turned into a way to like have a career. So I started doing a lot of live sound and studio stuff. That would have all been like 12 years ago, and I got like a bunch of front of house work in Detroit and did just crushing amounts of live sound while also building a studio from the ground up. And this is my B room that we're in now, which is in a cabin. So I've got a like 3-room setup in Detroit, and I was building that, and while I was doing like all of this live work, and then got really heavy into and doing like a lot of mastering and a little bit of recording and mixing, probably over the last like 8 years, and got really heavy into it 4 years ago, probably, where that turned into more of the full-time thing, and then now it is all I do because there is no live sound. So my background is mostly out of live sound. So that's like learning how to mix really, really, really quick. but then also appreciating that the studio is a 100% different environment with different goals. So that's like a cool way to pick stuff up. Now, as far as that's like a really, really long answer because I've just done like a lot. I've done a ton of audio. Okay, uh, the the other part, do I only master or do I also help with mixes? I mix albums that I will not. I mix I mix like an album a month about. And it's just got to be something that I really resonate with, and also something that I know like all of the ins and outs for it to be just like a project that I go all in on. Um, I master absolutely every single genre because I like love all music and I'm familiar with like the end result. But I'm primarily mixing rock bands and punk and rock stuff is kind of my bread and butter in the mixing world. But I've done like a couple of I've done jazz and I like some hip hop and soul and I don't do much with EDM. Uh, that's kind of not my zone. If I was to not pick one, but yeah, mastering is just a 100% different perspective than mixing, and it's also I just have to like really like what I'm mixing in all total honesty because it takes it's such a time investment and I want to be stoked on it the entire time that I'm doing it. So I'm a little choosy on the mixing. But I also in the mastering practice as far as helping with mixes, that is a big part of it. That's I always love working with clients who contact me during the production process and like during recording, during mixing, like if they've already lined me up, I absolutely like hop on calls, answer emails, and offer like final perspective on something even while it's in the production process, which is like a big part of mastering is pushing back on the initial processes. And I love when people are that proactive because then the final thing is even better. So like, like in your question of like, do I help with mixes? Like all the time. That's like the single most important part of mastering. And that's offering like exact technical uh, pushback on a mix during any point of it. So like, yeah, illuminating question. That's what I love doing. All right, if you are just popping on in, this is a ton of open studio. If you've got a track that you've been working on and you would like some top down perspective on it, you can send it to a ton of records at gmail.com. This is the first time back in a while on this stream. Had some internet stuff go down. And now that I am back on it, and it'll be back to a regular nightly thing. First off, I couldn't be happier. Second off, normally the way that this works is that people have sent in tracks throughout the day, and then I line them up, and then I go through them and offer feedback, so on and so forth. But for tonight and the next few nights, I'm going to do kind of an extended, sprawling stream where I'm just kind of reminding people that this exists. So, feel free to drop a track into my inbox, ask a question in the chat. Share the link around, tell some friends, etc., etc. I feel like we'll get this back on its feet, like once these videos post and people see that it's all been going on again. Now, like there's some very cool news, like David, who Vault sends stuff in regularly, and during the time that I didn't have reliable internet, we were still, corresponding via email, and helped him out with a couple of things, and just found out a couple of weeks ago that his latest single got a record deal. So very cool news from there. And then Scarholm will probably be back. They sent a mix during the dark period that is just so good, and I hope that they published it and share it with everyone once they're back in the chat. So stuff is good, stuff is cool. I'm really happy to be back, and send on stuff if you got it. Got a little dog party right here. No complaints about that. This is Guinness. This is just a dog stream now. All right. Just enjoying this break. All right. I am not usually stat watching, but I just saw that someone came into the Twitch room. So this is a live mix feedback stream. If you've got something you've been working on and want to send it in for some top-down mastering style feedback, you can just send it to atonuvrecords@gmail.com, and I will take a listen and give you some moves that you could make on your mix to make it even better. If you've got something that is in a demo stage, or it's rough, or you're closing in on your 4AD record deal, then I can totally listen to it off stream, muted, so that a bunch of people don't hear it. or it doesn't get leaked, so on and so forth. Just make a note of it in your email. This will be a regularly occurring program. Normally, people send stuff in throughout the day. I line everything up before I start the stream, and then it's just feedback, 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 and you can rewatch it knowing that it's just going to be awesome audio information. Now, I have been offline for the last couple of months, and I'm getting it started back again, and as a result, for the next couple of nights, I'm going to be just camping out on stream and seeing if some new people roll in, or if the regulars see that I'm back online, etc., etc. So I'm going to be mostly just saying that exact string of words over and over for the next couple of nights. So if you've got something, feel free to send it in. If you have any sort of audio-related question, you can drop it in the chat, and we can work from there. But I am very happy to be back on the stream. That is mostly how I'm feeling, and I've got a dog who feels like I don't love him much. I love him enough, even though he is my favorite creature. Yes. He is so good. Look at Guinness. All right. Well, I'll be right back. I'm going to feed my dogs some dinner. All right, well, the hounds have been fed. All right, if you are joining or watching and wondering what's going on, this is a Ton of Open Studio. This is a place where you can get top-down mastering style feedback on your mix. If you are working on something new, or maybe wondering about something old, or you've got a general audio question, you can go ahead and just drop that in, and we'll talk about it on stream. You may be wondering, is this how this always is? Absolutely not. Normally, when this is a hummin' living stream, people send their tracks in throughout the day. I line them all up for the nightly stream, and then it's just totally dedicated content from beginning to end. Now, I've been offline for a little bit, so for the next couple of nights, I'm going to kind of just stream camp so that people know that this exists again. I'm also just kind of watching stats and seeing when new people walk in and delivering this this spiel. So, glad to be back. This is not riveting content, but we're going to get right back to building this really awesome audio community, which I'm stoked about. It's really cool, and the folks that have been involved thus far have been amazing. It's been really cool to meet a bunch of people, and people have been making huge progress with their mixes over the last few months. So it has been really cool to facilitate it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens moving forward. So I'm a happy audio engineer. And I'm going to go ahead and let my dogs outside as they are demanding it. All right, that's the kind of riveting content that we're in for the next couple of days. Me letting my dogs outside. So, if you're wondering what's going on, this is a Ton of Open Studio, a place where you can send your mixes to get some top-down mastering style feedback. You can drop them into my email at absolutely any time of the day. Normally, how it works is a backlog of emails come in throughout the day, and then I go through them, and then the stream is just beginning to end feedback and mix knowledge. I haven't been here for the last couple of months, had some internet trouble. So for the next few days, I'm just going to kind of hang out on stream and see if some of the regulars wander in, or if we get some new folks, coming in from off the internet streets. In the meantime, in case someone for some reason watches this on replay, which I don't recommend, the next few days are going to be rough, folks. Mostly what I'm doing is, just catching up on some emails here and there, and also watching my viewing stats to see if new people walk into the room so that I can explain to them what is happening. It is not engaging content, y'all. But, you know, people like to see new stuff. Also, this is the first time I am restreaming this to Twitch. So, seeing if there's a little audio community over there to, kind of see what's happening. We've had 4 unique viewers on Twitch so far. That's pretty cool. Thanks, Twitch. Just stat watching. So, um, I am thrilled to be just back on this stream watching stats. I have really missed doing this for the last little bit, y'all. So, really happy to be, you know, back in stream action. So, I'm sure that over the next couple of days, you know, the people that were regularly sending in stuff are going to be sending in stuff again. And, it's cool. It is totally worth just kind of sitting and waiting for a little bit. All right. So, I am stream camping a little bit. I just saw that someone came into the Twitch room. So, you know what's going on. This is a regular live mix feedback stream. If you've been working on something and you want some mastering style pushback on a mix, or just like a general audio question, you can go ahead and email stuff to my email or drop something in chat. I was doing this stream really regularly a few months ago, and then I ran into an internet snag, but I am back online, and I am really happy to be back at it. Normally, there's kind of a backlog of tracks, and I load them all up before I start the stream, and then we go through one by one and just have like content. For tonight and the next few nights, I'm going to be just hanging out and, seeing if people gravitate back towards the stream, which I'm sure will happen. We had a really great community a couple of months ago, and we're going to, get right back to it. I'm tagging that. Also, this is the first time I am using Twitch, so I'm also getting used to that. Now, if you have been working on something and it is totally new and maybe it's a rough demo and you don't want folks to hear it, that's totally cool. You can just make a note of it in your email and I will mute it for the stream and listen to it in my studio. Or, maybe you've got something and you're like, I can't let it leak before I get that big record deal. Totally understandable. Just let me know and I will play it muted. Also, if you've got a cover or anything that would get like DMCA'd, etc., do me a solid and let me know that we've got copyrighted material and I will play it off stream because we don't want to get clapped. I'm looking for proper tags on Twitch. All right. So, normally I'm not just watching the view count, but getting this stream back up again. So, just so you know, this is a place where you can get mastering style top-down feedback on a mix. You can go ahead and send stuff to atonuvrecords at gmail.com, and you can send those in absolutely anytime. Generally, how this stream functions is people send stuff throughout the day, and then I line them up and go through them one by one live on stream that night while stuff kind of trickles in. But I have not been streaming for the last little bit, and I want to kind of, kickstart it and get some new folks involved in the community. So I am stream camping for tonight and probably the next few nights. So this stream is mostly me clicking through my email, seeing what comes through, and delivering this exact same speech like over and over. So if you've got something you want me to take a look at, or you've got some audio questions, feel free to ask in chat, and I'll address what you've got. Now, if you have been recording something and it's in its early stages, it's a demo, it's a rough mix, or it's a final mix and it's going to be on an album, and you don't want it to be leaked early, just let me know in your email, and I'll be sure to mute it on stream so that you can get feedback without it going out to the general public. Always happy to do that. So, yeah, if you've got some audio, or you want some audio style knowledge, feel free to ask or send stuff in. And yeah, I will be here. I am simulcasting to YouTube and Twitch. Previously, I had not used Twitch, but it seems like an awesome community, and it would be cool to see what's happening with audio over here. So I'm also figuring out Twitch at the same time. So happy to be everywhere online. But it's mostly just me getting used to talking to a camera again, hanging out with my dog, who really wishes that I was paying more attention to him. But he will get treats later. All right, so I am watching my stats, which is not what I usually do, but when a new viewer comes into the room, I tell them what's going on. So, this is a ton of open studio, a regular mix feedback stream where you can get top down mastering style advice on where to take your track, how to treat your mix. Uh, Maybe there's something up in your mix environment and it's showing throughout the mix. I take a look at all that and we figure out what's going on. So you can at any point send stuff to a ton of records at gmail.com. That's the email up there. And normally, how the stream works is people send stuff throughout the day. I line it up in my DAW beforehand, and then I just go through the tracks so that people in different time zones can watch the beginning of the stream, go through to the end, and know that, you know, it's only feedback for the duration of the video. And they don't have to scroll through 3 hours of me just checking my email. For tonight and the next few nights, it's going to be a lot of me checking my email because I have been unable to stream for the past couple of months. And I'm, giving this a kick in the pants to get the community back and going. So I am stream camping and just, seeing who comes in, seeing if we've got new folks ready to do the thing. So that's it. I don't have any tracks at the moment. Maybe something's going to come in, maybe it won't. But until then, we're all just kind of hanging out, all being a couple of people on YouTube. Now, also new, I'm streaming to Twitch for the first time as well. So I'm getting acquainted with that user interface. And I think it's going to be really cool to engage with the Twitch community and see what's going on there as far as audio. Now, yep, that is the deal. That is the content. There is no content. It's just me watching as like a person or two comes in and out. But I want to make sure that anyone who comes in knows what's going on. So every now and then I see a little blip and I give this spiel. So it's great to be back. It's great to be here. Very, very happy to be here. We will get back on the content steam roller soon. I normally during the streams, I'm not like watching the view count because that's super lame. But for tonight, it's an experiment. So, you know, I know that someone just walked into the world's weirdest, quietest, deadest stream, and you've left. All right, let's go ahead and call it for the night. I will be back tomorrow and, you know, the day after that as well. It's been really awesome to be back. I'll see everybody later.